Have you ever found yourself confused by someone's words not matching their actions? Maybe they're smiling and saying they're fine, but deep down you can sense something's off. Or perhaps you've been in a situation where someone's mood changes in a flash, leaving you wondering what's really going on in their mind. These small but powerful moments reveal so much more than just words can express. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of human behavior and emotions, guided by insights from Stoic philosophy, to help you read between the lines of everyday interactions. If you've ever wanted to understand what people are really thinking, or why they react the way they do, stick around. You'll come away with some powerful tools to navigate both your relationships and your own inner world. So let's get into it. The language of body and tone, when actions speak louder than words. We've all been there. Someone tells you, "I'm fine," but something in their voice or posture doesn't quite line up. It's almost like their body is betraying what they're really feeling. Have you ever wondered why that happens? This disconnect between what people say and what they actually communicate through their body and tone is more common than we realize. Think about a time when you were nervous, maybe during a job interview or a big presentation. You probably told yourself to stay calm, but your hands might have been shaking or your voice might have cracked. That's because our bodies often reflect what's happening internally, even when we're trying to project a different message. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that emphasizes clarity and consistency in thought and action, offers valuable insights here. It teaches us that when our words, actions, and inner thoughts aren't aligned, tension builds up, and that tension leaks out in the form of body language or tone. The Stoics believed that a wise person acts in accordance with their values, meaning they don't have to pretend to feel or think a certain way. This is why someone who's truly at peace appears calm both in speech and in behavior, while someone who's struggling to maintain a facade might seem off in subtle ways. Let's bring this into a real-life context. Picture this. You're talking with a friend who just got some bad news at work. They tell you, "I'm okay, it's not a big deal," but their arms are crossed tightly, and they keep avoiding eye contact. What are you likely to believe, their words or their body language? Chances are the physical signs are what clue you into how they're really feeling. Another everyday scenario might be a business meeting where a colleague is presenting an idea they don't fully believe in. They're giving all the right answers, but their voice lacks energy and they're fidgeting nervously. These subtle cues are a sign that their words and feelings are out of sync. You might not be able to pinpoint what's wrong immediately, but your intuition will tell you something isn't quite right. This happens because the tone of voice and body movements often reflect emotions we're not consciously expressing. So, next time you find yourself in a conversation, take a step back and observe. Is the other person's energy dropping when they talk about a specific topic? Do they fidget or glance away when asked a tough question? These small behaviors often reveal more than words ever could. The same goes for listening to the changes in someone's voice. A flat or overly enthusiastic tone can signal discomfort, hesitation, or even dishonesty. Think about how often someone's tone tells you something's wrong before their words do. You don't need to be an expert to pick up on these things. Just being present and paying attention can give you an edge in understanding what's really going on beneath the surface. The true self shows, when no one's watching, consistency in character. One of the biggest indicators of someone's true character is how they act when they think no one's paying attention. We all know people who seem perfectly polite and kind in public, but behave very differently behind closed doors. Stoicism has a lot to say about this, particularly around the idea of living in accordance with your values, regardless of who's watching. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often spoke about the importance of acting virtuously, even when there's no one around to witness it. After all, it's easy to be a good person when people are looking. It's much harder to do the right thing when you know there's no one to hold you accountable. The Stoics believed that true character is revealed in these unobserved moments. Let's take a modern example. Imagine you're at a restaurant with a group of friends. Everyone's chatting, laughing, and the atmosphere is great. But then you notice how one of your friends treats the waiter. Maybe they're rude, impatient, or dismissive. It's not a huge scene, but it's enough to make you pause. This person who's been so friendly and warm with you is showing a completely different side when they think it doesn't matter. It's in these small, seemingly insignificant moments that people reveal their true nature. Another example might be how someone behaves at work. Picture a colleague who's always professional and cooperative in meetings when the boss is around. But as soon as the higher-ups leave, they start gossiping or undermining others. That shift in behavior tells you that their public persona doesn't match who they are when the stakes are lower. This inconsistency is what the Stoics warned against. They believed that a virtuous person acts consistently, whether or not anyone is watching. In relationships, this principle becomes even more important. Imagine dating someone who's charming and considerate in social settings, but seems distant or uninterested when it's just the two of you. Over time, you might start to question which version of them is the real one, the one they show to the world, or the one you see behind closed doors. The truth is, both might be true, but the latter is often a better reflection of their deeper character. The Stoics encourage people to strive for consistency in their actions, not for the sake of appearances, but because living in alignment with your values brings inner peace. When you're the same person in public and in private, you don't have to worry about maintaining a facade or keeping up with a certain image. This is a powerful lesson, especially in today's world, where social media often pressures people to present a curated version of themselves. So, the next time you're evaluating someone's character, or even reflecting on your own, pay attention to how they act when there's no one to impress. Do they still treat others with respect and kindness even when they don't have to? These moments offer a clear window into who someone really is. Emotional reactions as windows into priorities. Another way to get a better understanding of people is by observing how they react emotionally, especially in unexpected situations. We all have that friend who seems to overreact to something small, or who lights up with excitement over a topic that most people wouldn't think twice about. These emotional responses often reveal a person's true priorities and values, even if they don't openly express them. Let's say you're discussing plans with a friend, and you mention something casual like rescheduling your hangout. Suddenly, they seem upset or disappointed. It might seem like an overreaction at first, but what's really happening is that spending time with you is more important to them than they initially let on. Their strong emotional response signals that something deeper is at stake for them, something they might not have openly communicated. On the flip side, positive reactions can also be revealing. Think about someone who comes alive when talking about a particular subject, whether it's their favorite hobby, a side project, or even a dream vacation. That spark of enthusiasm shows what really excites them, and it gives you insight into what they value most. You might not have known how passionate they were about that topic before, but their emotional reaction makes it clear. This can be especially useful in understanding close relationships. For example, if your partner gets upset when you cancel plans last minute, their emotional reaction tells you that quality time is a big priority for them, even if they haven't explicitly said it. Or if they seem particularly enthusiastic about planning a trip together, that excitement shows how much shared experiences mean to them. And at work, this principle also applies. Have you ever noticed a colleague getting defensive when their ideas are questioned? It's not just about the project at hand, it's about their identity and how they see themselves. Their emotional response is likely tied to a deeper need to feel respected and competent. Stoicism teaches us that emotions, while natural, should be observed and not allowed to control us. The Stoics believed that emotional reactions often come from attachments, whether it's an attachment to a particular outcome, a person, or a way of being seen by others. By paying attention to these reactions, both in yourself and others, you can start to uncover what really matters at a core level. One useful tip from Stoic practice is to take a step back and reflect when you notice a strong emotional reaction, either in yourself or others. Instead of immediately reacting, ask yourself, what is this emotion revealing? What's the underlying priority or value at play here? This can help you better understand both your own motivations and the motivations of those around you. Words, actions, and values, bringing it all together. So far, we've talked about body language, emotional reactions, and how people behave when they think no one's watching. All of these elements point to one core idea, the alignment or misalignment between a person's words, actions, and values. If someone consistently says one thing but does another, it's a red flag that their values and behavior aren't in sync. Stoicism teaches us the importance of acting in alignment with our values, and it also encourages us to pay attention when others don't. This isn't about judging or labeling people as good or bad. It's about understanding the deeper motivations behind their actions. For example, if a friend is always late but constantly apologizes and says they care about your time, it's worth questioning whether their actions reflect their words. Maybe punctuality isn't as important to them as they say it is, or perhaps they have trouble managing their time. The point is, their behavior gives you valuable insight into their true priorities. In a work setting, if a colleague repeatedly talks about the importance of teamwork, but often takes credit for group efforts, their actions speak louder than their words. Observing these inconsistencies helps you better navigate professional relationships and understand who you can truly rely on. The goal isn't to become suspicious of everyone, but to develop a deeper awareness of the signals people give off. It's about seeing beyond the surface and understanding what drives someone's behavior. By doing this, you can build stronger relationships based on genuine understanding and empathy. Conclusion: the power of understanding. Others learning to read people isn't about manipulation or trying to outsmart anyone. It's about understanding human nature and using that understanding to improve your relationships, communication, and interactions with others. Stoic philosophy teaches us to live in harmony with our values, and it also offers us tools to see when others might be struggling to do the same. So next time you're in a conversation, take a moment to observe, not just the words being spoken, but the tone, body language, and emotional reactions. These are the subtle clues that reveal what's really going on beneath the surface. The more you practice this, the better you'll get at understanding others, and the more meaningful your connections will become. And remember, the more you understand others, the better you'll understand yourself. That's where the real power lies.